I'm going to show you in this video an example of a successful cold email campaign from start to finish. I'm going to show you in this thread where you can see the emails came through and when I finally got the reply. Okay, so for context, this was work that I was doing just recently for a technical recruiter. He hired me to help show him how to do cold email sales campaigns and also to get more business. So it's a little side project I did, and I used my sales system to do it. So I'm going to show you how. And I will also say, if you think that your market's saturated, or people tell you that, like a business coach, people are, oh, there's so many coaches, blah, blah, blah. Well, try being a recruiter. There are so many, and maybe you are, there are so many technical recruiters, so many, there's been a lot of layoffs recently. There's a lot of recruiters trying to go off on their own. So this is a very noisy market and not super easy to stand out. Okay, so for this project I created, I think it was a 12 sequence campaign, and I'll show you how it worked and what happened. So first email was sent on November 2nd, 2022. And in order to get the leads that I used for this campaign, I was using a company called Agency Leads. And what they do is they have some kind of algorithm that is able to detect which companies are using recruitment firms to fill their roles, called Agency Leads. If you decide to use them, let them know that Diane Prince referred you. I don't know, maybe we'll both get something, I'm not sure. Okay, so November 2nd was the first email, and I had sent this through. This campaign, I think, went through Mixmax. I can't remember if I used Mixmax or Instantly as for the software. Okay, so, and I will also say these were handwritten by me. They're not, I would not say that they were stellar copy, but I'll show you what worked. Okay, so first one, November 2nd. I notice you're using a recruiting firm for your senior cloud network engineer role, Dave. If it's not been filled, are you open to a quick troubleshooting chat? I know you can read all this, so I won't read all of them, but that was on November 2nd. A quick word about timing. I never really pay attention to it. Sometimes I just do the time set that's recommended by whatever software I'm using. I don't look at okay, Tuesday at 3 p.m. is the most commonly opened email times. I do them all random. Sometimes I even set them up to get there in the middle of the night or weekends so that I can stand out. So I just try different things. I'm pretty random about that. Okay. Then the next email that he got, you can see, was set up for 5 days later. Okay. No reply. Okay. So that's set 2. Now the third email was on November 10th. That was 3 days later. No reply. Okay. Fourth email, I'm counting. Fourth email is November 15th. No reply. Fifth email, I just said thoughts. No reply. I try random things. Okay, sixth email, I said, if I could do one thing to get you to try me for your recruiting, what would that be? Okay, that's 6. No reply. 7. Do you want me to keep emailing you? Would you like me to stop? He did not reply. That's 7. And this is 8. Just other stuff. Okay. 9. I repeated again if I could do one thing. And look, was that 9 or 10? I think it was 9. He replied. Okay. So you can see, he replied even an email that I had sent the same copy previously. Okay, and this was over the course of, the first one was November 2nd. He replied December 7th. And some people I talk to will tell me, I was talking to one client the other day, and she said that she gets ghosted. And I'm like, well, what do you mean by ghosted? And for her, it was she'd reach out a couple of times and then not hear. Or, maybe in her case, she talked to them before and then she didn't hear back. Or I worked with another technical recruiter who was like, it doesn't work. And he sort of declared that after he declared that after sending, trying it a couple of times. This was not my first email campaign with this recruiter, but and we're going to go through the rest of this thread, but if you notice, pay attention to where I sent this from. I did not even send it from, this dude does not even have a website, by the way. Okay. And I sent it, this is sent from my email. So if you go to dianeprince.co, that's my coaching website. It has nothing to do with technical recruiting for credit unions, which then we created a little niche from this whole thread. So just goes to show, it's an example of you don't even need a website. You don't even need a landing page. This is, he can go to me and be like, what? And And so he replied. And then I said to him, for some reason they're down here. So when he replied, now notice this, okay? I said to him, okay, so he said 15%, but I'm not, our normal fee was 20 to 25%. So to agree to 15%, which was, by the way, something that we were very willing to do. This recruiter really wanted the business. This ended up being over $20,000 of a placement. So, but notice I didn't just say, okay, I asked for some things in return. Okay. I haven't said yes yet. So I'm asking him for things that I know for the recruiter, these are going to be these answers, knowing this, these are going to be very valuable. Like even prompt feedback is very valuable. Knowing how many agencies are working on them, because if there were 25 agencies working on them, we would probably say no. And notice that I asked him, I didn't just focus on that one role. Which roles would you give us? Framing it as like, this is not just about this role. What would you, so what would, for that 15%, which is a discount, what would you do? And then I also mentioned that I'm from Dallas, because he's from Texas. He is in Texas. Okay, so this is something else to my VA. Okay, so replied. And he gave us 3 roles. And he also said there's no other agency. So that's really good information. So we were able to do that with confidence. It was, would have been better to get 25%, but we wouldn't have gotten this business. And the recruiter I was working with really, really wanted the business. He could use the business. Okay, so and he replied about feedback. They were amazing to work with. They gave great feedback. And then, as you can see, here's how I led him down the kind of kept on bringing him to the close. Okay, so asking him questions about the roles, and then we set up a time and we spoke, and it ended up being a very nice placement. And at the same time, we were able to give someone an amazing job who was very excited about it. So this is an example. I will also say that this was not the first email campaign that we had sent to in general for this recruiter. So why I'm telling you that is because sometimes people will say this isn't working. Okay, because we could have said this isn't working. The first couple of campaigns we sent, actually one of the first ones we did get a client from that one as well. But one recruiter I was working with said it doesn't work. You just don't know until you hit consistency. You might need to change your copy. You might need to change your subject line, but cold email works. I've been doing it for years, and I know that it works because I've closed so many different kinds of deals for so many different kinds of businesses. And I hope that you enjoyed this example of a successful cold email campaign.